The secret to a life without regrets. Start living today. In the fleeting passage of time, life presents us with opportunities to act, to love, to create, and to become. Yet so often, we let these moments slip through our fingers, distracted by the noise of ambition, the weight of expectation, or the allure of distant tomorrows. As we chase what lies ahead, we often overlook the treasures of the present. The wisdom of living a life without regrets is not a lesson taught by youth, but a truth revealed in reflection, often too late for many to act upon. Today, let us explore this profound truth, draw wisdom from the past, and learn how to live fully and intentionally. 1. Lessons from the dying. Wisdom to transform your life. In the quiet rooms of palliative care, where life meets its fragile end, a profound truth emerges. Here, amid the stillness, lies a treasure trove of wisdom. A wisdom so powerful it could reshape the way we live our lives if only we stopped to listen. Bronnie Ware, a nurse who cared for those in their final days, once chronicled the deepest regrets of the dying. What she discovered was not just a list of missed opportunities, but a mirror reflecting what truly matters in life. When we are faced with the end, all the noise fades. Titles, promotions, bank accounts, and societal accolades. None of it matters. The dying do not weep for the awards they didn't win or the wealth they didn't amass. Instead, their hearts ache for moments lost, relationships neglected, and happiness delayed. Their regrets reveal a profound truth. The richness of life is not in what we achieve, but in how we live and love. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. How often do we find ourselves living to meet others' expectations? We chase careers chosen by our parents, suppress dreams that seem too wild, and silence our true selves to fit the mold society has cast for us. And yet, when time runs out, we realize the most valuable gift we could have given ourselves was authenticity. Consider a man who spent his life climbing the corporate ladder, neglecting his passion for painting. On his deathbed, he confessed that he had always yearned to hold a brush, not a briefcase. His regret wasn't in the money he earned, but in the life he never allowed himself to live. The lesson is clear. Be brave enough to pursue your truth. What parts of yourself have you hidden? What passions have you buried beneath the weight of obligations? To live authentically is to honor the essence of who you are. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Many of us fall into the trap of endless toil, believing our worth lies in our productivity. The dying often lament the countless hours spent at work while their children grew up, their parents aged, and life passed by unnoticed. Picture a woman who, in her final moments, shared how she spent decades working late, thinking she was building a better future for her family. Yet, when she looked back, she realized her children had needed her presence, not her paychecks. The true currency of life is time, not money. The question isn't how much you can achieve, but how much you can cherish. Set boundaries. Prioritize your loved ones. Remember, the world will keep turning without you burning out. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Unspoken words are heavy burdens. Many regret the love they never declared, the apologies they never offered, and the truths they never voiced. Fear of rejection or confrontation often silences us, but in the end, it is the silence that haunts us. Imagine a father who never told his son how proud he was, believing there would always be time. But time is a fleeting companion, and he passed away before uttering those words. His son spent years wondering if he had ever measured up. Speak your heart, express love freely, forgive generously, and share your gratitude. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. In our pursuit of success, we often let friendships fade, promising ourselves we'll reconnect when life slows down. For many, that day never comes, leaving them with memories of friends who became strangers. Think of a man who reconnected with an old friend only to learn they had passed away weeks earlier. The lunch they had always talked about never happened, and the stories they could have shared were lost forever. Friendships are the fabric of a meaningful life. Nurture them. Make that call. Schedule that coffee date. Don't wait for tomorrow is never guaranteed. I wish I had let myself be happier, Perhaps the most heart-wrenching regret is realizing happiness was always within reach, yet it was ignored. The dying often see how they clung to worry, perfectionism, and the fear of judgment, forgetting that joy is a choice. Imagine a woman who spent her life obsessing over appearances, always striving for a picture-perfect existence. In her final days, she realized she had missed the simple joys, dancing in the rain, laughing until her stomach hurt, and embracing life's imperfections. Happiness is not a destination. It is a way of being. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to be happy. Allow yourself to laugh, to play, to embrace the messiness of life, the timeless lessons. These regrets are not just warnings. They are guideposts, pointing us toward a life of fulfillment. Here's what they teach us. Live with authenticity. Pursue the life that speaks to your soul, not the life others expect of you. Value time over wealth. Work to live. Don't live to work. Invest your time in what truly matters. Speak from the heart. Let love, gratitude, and forgiveness flow freely. Unspoken words leave the heaviest scars. Cherish relationships. Reconnect with those who matter. Friendships and family are life's greatest treasures. Choose joy daily. Happiness is not found in perfection, but in embracing the beauty of the present moment. Life whispers these lessons to us daily, yet we often ignore them until it's too late. But you don't have to wait. You don't need a near-death experience to wake up to what truly matters. Today, ask yourself, what would I regret if this were my last day? Who do I need to call, forgive, or spend time with? What passion or dream have I been postponing? Take one small step. Write that letter. Book that trip. Share that laugh. The moments you create now will become the memories that define your life. Because when your final day comes, let it be one where you can say, I lived fully, I loved deeply, and I have no regrets. 2. The eternal wisdom of the present moment. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast desert, holding a handful of sand. No matter how tightly you clench your fist, the grains slip through your fingers. That is time. The more we try to grip the past or worry about the future, the more the present moment escapes us. This is the great paradox of life. The only time we truly possess is now. Yet, how often do we forget this? Our lives are spent dwelling on yesterday's regrets or chasing tomorrow's promises. But the sages of old, those who walked the earth with wisdom in their hearts, taught a simple yet profound truth. The present moment is the only reality. The power of now, lessons from life itself. Life doesn't wait for us. A flower blooms, not when we have time to notice, but when the sun rises. A child grows up, not when we're ready, but with every passing moment. Yet, how often do we miss these miracles? Think of a time when you were truly present. Maybe it was holding your grandmother's hand during her final days, feeling the warmth and the fragility of life in her touch. Perhaps it was a sunset that painted the sky in colors you couldn't describe, a moment so beautiful it stole your breath, or the laughter of a child playing without a care in the world, a reminder of the innocence we all once had. What made those moments special wasn't the event itself, it was your presence. You were there, fully, completely, and that's why they became memories that linger in your heart. Why we forsake the present moment? Why, then, do we so often live outside the now? The answer lies in the twin thieves of joy, regret and worry. Regret binds us to the past. We replay old mistakes, lost opportunities, and what-ifs like broken records. But dwelling on the past is like trying to row a boat while staring backward. We lose sight of the destination. Worry steals the future before it arrives. We fret over what might happen, creating storms in our minds that may never materialize. It's like carrying an umbrella every day for rain that never comes. Both regret and worry pull us away from the one thing we can influence. This moment, the ancient wisdom of presence. The great masters understood the value of living in the present. Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher, once said, "If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present." Consider a tree. It doesn't fret over the storms of yesterday or worry about the droughts of tomorrow. It simply grows, one ring at a time, rooted firmly in the now. And so should we. Practical ways to embrace the present. Pause and breathe. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, stop and take a deep breath. Close your eyes and feel the air entering your lungs. Let it remind you that you are alive. Here, in this very moment, imagine sitting by a river, watching the water flow. You can't hold on to the water, but you can enjoy the sound, the movement, the life it carries. That's the present moment, ever flowing, yet infinitely precious. Notice the small things. Life is made of little moments. The taste of your morning coffee, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of birds singing outside your window. These are gifts we often overlook. Try this tomorrow morning. As you sip your coffee or tea, do nothing else. Don't scroll through your phone or plan your day. Just sit and savor the taste, the aroma, the simple pleasure of it. Let go of what you can't control. Life is unpredictable. The storms will come, but as an old proverb says, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. When you accept uncertainty, you free yourself to live fully. Picture a farmer. He plants his seeds and tends his fields, knowing he cannot control the rain or the sun. Yet he works diligently, trusting that the harvest will come in its time. What the present moment teaches us: when you embrace the now, you discover life's greatest truths. Gratitude is the gateway to joy. The present moment is a reminder of how much we already have: the roof over our heads, the food on our table, the people we love. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Every night before bed, reflect on 3 things you're grateful for that day. You'll find your heart lighter and your sleep more restful. Happiness is not a destination. So many of us say, "I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I buy the house, when I lose the weight." But happiness isn't found in the future. It's found in the small, imperfect moments of today. Next time you laugh with a friend, play with your child, or even enjoy a quiet moment alone, remind yourself, this is happiness. Life is fleeting, but love endures. At the end of our lives, we won't remember the meetings, the deadlines, or the achievements. We'll remember the people who mattered and the moments we shared with them. Call your parents, hug your partner, laugh with your friends. These are the treasures that time cannot steal. A final story to carry with you. There was once a monk who was chased by a tiger, running for his life. He came to the edge of a cliff. Below, he saw another tiger waiting. Desperate, he noticed a vine and climbed down, only to see 2 mice gnawing at it. Certain of his doom, he looked around and saw a wild strawberry growing near him. He plucked it, tasted it, and smiled. "How sweet it is," he said. This story reminds us that life is uncertain, but even in the face of fear, there is beauty to be found in the present moment. The ultimate truth. The present moment is not just a fleeting second in time. It is life itself. It is where love, joy, and meaning reside. It is all we have and all we need. So today, let go of the weight of yesterday. Stop chasing the mirage of tomorrow. Open your eyes to the miracle of now. Live it, love it, cherish it. And when the day comes when your time on this earth is done, you will look back not with regret, but with peace, knowing you truly lived. Embrace the gift of now. As we journey through life, let us remember this: the present moment is the only moment we truly own. It is where life unfolds, where happiness is found, and where meaning resides. From the small joys of sipping your morning coffee to the deep connections with loved ones, the present moment reminds us that life is not a race to be won but a gift to be cherished. So, let go of the regrets of yesterday and the worries of tomorrow. Instead, choose to live fully, love deeply, and appreciate the beauty of now. If this message resonated with you, take it as a sign to start living with intention today. And if you're looking for more inspiration and practical wisdom to lead a fulfilling life, consider subscribing to this channel. Together, we can embrace the journey and uncover the beauty of every moment. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who might need this reminder today. Let's spread the message that the present moment is the most valuable treasure we have. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. 3. The Trap of Achievement Addiction, a lesson in living fully. The one who climbs a mountain chasing the horizon will never reach it. For the horizon is not a destination, it is a journey. In our quest for greatness, many of us fall into a subtle yet dangerous snare: the addiction to achievement. At first glance, it appears noble, even virtuous, to chase our goals relentlessly. Society applauds us when we achieve milestones, secure promotions, or gather accolades. Yet, like a traveler in a desert chasing a mirage, we often discover too late that this pursuit does not bring the fulfillment we imagined. Let us pause and reflect on this ancient dilemma, one that transcends time and culture, to uncover the truth about chasing external achievements at the expense of internal peace. The illusion of "I'll be happy when," "I will rest once I finish this project," "I'll feel worthy when I get the promotion," "I'll truly enjoy life after I retire." Do these words sound familiar? Many live by these mantras, believing that happiness lies just beyond the next achievement. But like a horizon, every goal achieved reveals yet another one in the distance. Consider the story of a man named John. In his youth, John believed that earning a high salary would solve all his problems. He worked tirelessly, sacrificing weekends, family dinners, and his health to climb the corporate ladder. When he finally became CEO, he realized he had no one to share his success with. His wife had grown distant, his children barely knew him, and his health was in tatters. The happiness he expected never came, because he had been chasing an illusion. Happiness is not a destination. It is the quality of the journey. Every small, meaningful moment you ignore while chasing success is a brick removed from the foundation of your joy. The empty rewards of external validation. The world often measures success in terms of applause, admiration, and recognition, but external validation is like drinking salt water. It quenches your thirst momentarily but leaves you even thirstier in the end. Picture a famous musician who spends years perfecting their craft, hoping for fame and adoration. They reach the pinnacle of their career, yet instead of joy, they feel emptier than ever. Why? Because the validation of others cannot fill the void within. They were searching for meaning in applause, when true fulfillment comes from playing music for the love of it. Strive for excellence, but let your motivation come from within. Achieve not for others' praise, but for the joy of growth and self-expression. The cost of neglecting the present. There is a famous proverb that says, "Do not sacrifice what you have for what you hope to gain." Yet this is precisely what happens when we become consumed by achievement. In our haste to reach the finish line, we neglect the beauty of the present moment. A young entrepreneur spends years building a business empire, convinced that his happiness lies in financial freedom. Yet, in his relentless pursuit, he misses his children's first steps, his parents' aging smiles, and his partner's quiet need for connection. By the time he makes it, these precious moments are gone, and no amount of money can bring them back. The present moment is irreplaceable. Each day offers small treasures, a kind word from a loved one, the taste of a favorite meal, the laughter of a child. Do not trade these for a future that may never come. The power of small wins. Those who are addicted to achievement often overlook the small victories that make life meaningful. They see only the grand goal, dismissing the progress they've made along the way. Yet, true growth lies not in monumental leaps, but in consistent, intentional steps. Imagine an artist painting a masterpiece. Each brushstroke may seem insignificant on its own, but together they create something extraordinary. If the artist focused only on the finished painting, they might lose the joy of creating it. Celebrate the small wins. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving by 1%, or simply showing up when you don't feel like it, each step matters. Success is the sum of your daily efforts, not a single grand moment. How to escape the trap of achievement addiction. The ancient sages often taught that wisdom lies not in gaining, but in letting go. To break free from the trap of achievement addiction, we must shift our mindset and redefine success. Focus on purpose, not prestige. Ask yourself, why am I pursuing this goal? Is it for genuine growth or external approval? When your actions align with your values, you find fulfillment, regardless of the outcome. A teacher who dedicates their life to shaping young minds may never receive public recognition, but they derive deep satisfaction from their purpose. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is the antidote to dissatisfaction. By appreciating what you already have, you ground yourself in the present and find contentment in the journey. Begin or end each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. This simple habit shifts your focus from what you lack to what you cherish. Learn to rest without guilt. Rest is not a luxury. It is a necessity for growth. Just as a farmer allows the soil to rest, we too must take breaks to replenish our energy and perspective. Schedule rest days in your calendar. Use this time to connect with loved ones, pursue hobbies, or simply enjoy the beauty of doing nothing. Redefine success. Instead of measuring success by achievements, measure it by the depth of your experiences and the quality of your relationships. A dying man's greatest joys often come from memories of love, laughter, and connection, not from trophies, titles, or bank accounts. The true measure of a life well lived. At the end of our lives, we won't be remembered for our accolades, but for how we made others feel and the legacy of love we leave behind. The wise understand this and live each day as if it were their last. Consider the story of Bronnie Ware's patients. Their top regrets were not about wealth or status, but about authenticity, relationships, and happiness. Let their wisdom guide us to prioritize what truly matters. Final reflection. Imagine standing at the edge of your life. Looking back, will you smile, knowing you lived fully, loved deeply, and cherished the moments that mattered? Or will you wish for more time to enjoy what you once took for granted? The choice is ours to make, today, in this moment. So step off the treadmill of endless achievement and embrace the beauty of the present. For it is here, in the small, quiet moments, that the true riches of life are found. As the sages remind us, do not strive to gain the world, only to lose your soul. Seek instead the treasures that time cannot take away. 4. Taking action without perfection. Wisdom from the ages. Imagine a traveler standing at the edge of a forest, hesitating to take the first step. The path ahead is unclear, the destination hidden beyond the horizon. The traveler thinks, what if I get lost? What if the journey is harder than I imagined? What if I fail? This hesitation is familiar to us all. We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions. But let me share with you a truth passed down through generations. The path is made not by waiting, but by walking. Clarity comes from action, not hesitation. A wise farmer once said, "You cannot plow a field by turning it over in your mind." Life, like the field, requires action. Many of us spend days, months, even years waiting for the perfect circumstances before beginning. But perfection is an illusion, a mirage that keeps us standing still. Think of a young artist dreaming of painting a masterpiece. They buy the finest brushes, the richest paints, and the largest canvas, but they never begin, fearing that their first stroke might not be perfect. Years later, the canvas remains blank, while another artist, less skilled but braver, has painted hundreds of works, improving with each one. Do not wait for clarity to come to you. Take the first step, however uncertain. The act of doing illuminates the path ahead, while standing still leaves you in the dark. Fear of failure is worse than failure itself. In ancient times, a student approached their master and said, "I fear I will fail." The master handed the student a clay pot and asked them to smash it. The student hesitated but obeyed. "Now," said the master, "mend it." The student, bewildered, replied, "I cannot. It is broken." The master smiled. "And yet, you have already learned. Failure is not final. It is a teacher." Consider Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times while inventing the light bulb. Each failure taught him what didn't work, bringing him closer to what did. Imagine if he had stopped after his first setback. The world would still be in darkness. Failure is not your enemy. Fear of failure is. When you take action, you may stumble, but each stumble teaches you to walk more steadily. Without action, you learn nothing and remain in place. The myth of readiness. A king once invited a brilliant architect to build a grand palace. The architect replied, I need time to prepare, to study, to perfect my plans. Years passed, and the architect never began, fearing imperfection. Meanwhile, a humble builder came forward, starting with simple bricks. Over time, the palace grew, magnificent and complete. The king rewarded the builder and dismissed the architect, saying, "Readiness is not found in thought, but in effort." Think about the first-time parent who doesn't feel ready to raise a child, or the entrepreneur launching their first business, unsure if they have what it takes. They dive in anyway, learning as they go. The secret? Nobody feels ready. Readiness comes through doing. Waiting for readiness is like waiting for the tide to stop. It never happens. Start where you are, with what you have. The journey itself will prepare you. Small steps build great momentum. A great oak tree begins as a tiny acorn. A 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step. These ancient truths remind us that greatness is not achieved in one leap, but through steady, consistent effort. A writer overwhelmed by the thought of completing a novel might instead commit to writing just one page a day. Over a year, those daily pages become a finished book. Similarly, a person seeking fitness might begin with just a 10-minute walk each morning. Over time, those small efforts compound into profound results. Break overwhelming goals into manageable steps. Focus on the next action, not the entire journey. Every small victory builds confidence and momentum. The power of starting before you're ready. A fisherman once said, "You don't need to see the entire river to cast your net. Throw it where you are, and the current will guide you." Starting before you're ready isn't recklessness. It's faith in the process and yourself. Many successful businesses began without perfect plans. Airbnb started with 3 air mattresses and a desperate need to pay rent. The founders didn't wait for perfection. They acted with what they had. Today, Airbnb is a global phenomenon. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start now, with what you have, where you are. Action transforms uncertainty into opportunity. Embracing the joy of imperfection. In Japan, there is an art form called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold, highlighting its flaws as part of its beauty. This philosophy teaches us to embrace imperfection, to see mistakes not as failures, but as part of the journey. Consider an entrepreneur who launches a product that fails. Instead of giving up, they learn from customer feedback, improve the product, and relaunch. The initial failure becomes the foundation for future success. Imperfection is not something to fear, but something to celebrate. It is proof that you are trying, learning, and growing. The pain of regret is greater than the pain of action. At the end of life, people rarely regret the risks they took, even if they failed. Instead, they regret the chances they didn't take, the dreams they left unfulfilled. Bronnie Ware's study of the dying revealed common regrets: not staying true to oneself, not expressing feelings, and not living fully. None of these regrets came from trying and failing. They came from not trying at all. The pain of action, however daunting, is temporary. The pain of inaction lasts a lifetime. Choose courage over comfort. Final words of wisdom. Life is not a waiting room where you sit until everything is perfect. It is a dance, messy and unpredictable, but beautiful in its imperfection. The sages remind us that the journey matters more than the destination, and the first step is always the hardest. So, start today. Take that leap, however small. Write the first word of your book. Make that call. Begin that project. Do not fear imperfection, for it is the soil where growth takes root. Remember, the path is made by walking, and each step you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. The best time to act was yesterday. The second best time is now. Go forth boldly, and let the journey transform you. 5. Living intentionally today, a timeless lesson. In a world that moves faster than ever before, the art of living intentionally is often lost in the noise. We hustle for more wealth, more success, and more recognition, yet forget to ask ourselves, are we truly living? Or are we merely existing, running a race with no finish line? This lesson isn't new. Ancient sages, philosophers, and spiritual leaders have spoken of the same truth for centuries. To live intentionally is to live a life of purpose, to find joy in the present, and to focus on what truly matters. Let us explore this timeless wisdom, and along the way, uncover its relevance in our lives today. The weight of now. The only moment we are truly guaranteed is the one we are in. Yet, so many of us live as if tomorrow is a promise etched in stone. We say, I'll start living when I get that promotion, when I make more money, or when the kids grow up. But this thinking only postpones our happiness, and soon we find ourselves looking back, wondering where all the time went. A young man spends decades chasing career milestones, convinced that success will bring him happiness. But on the day he finally achieves his dream position, his father passes away. The young man realizes he traded countless opportunities to connect with his family for a fleeting moment of professional glory. His father's chair at the dinner table now sits empty, and with it, the chance to share another conversation or laugh together. Don't wait for someday to spend time with the people you love. Call your parents today. Play with your children today. Enjoy the sunrise today. The moments that seem ordinary now will become the treasures you hold dear when life changes unexpectedly. The false allure of achievements. Modern society has created a dangerous illusion that success equals happiness. While ambition and hard work are admirable, they often come at the cost of the things that make life worth living: relationships, health, and joy. Consider the life of a workaholic. She spends her weekdays in meetings, her weekends catching up on emails, and her rare free evenings scrolling through social media, comparing herself to others. She thinks, once I hit my next target, I'll finally take a break, but that break never comes, because there's always another target, another task. Happiness isn't waiting for you at the finish line. It's found in the steps you take along the way. Celebrate the small victories. Enjoy the process. And remember that your worth is not tied to your achievements. True success is the ability to live a balanced and fulfilling life. Clarity comes from action, not waiting. So many of us hesitate to pursue our dreams because we feel unprepared. We tell ourselves, I'll start when I'm ready. But the truth is, readiness is an illusion. Clarity and confidence come not from waiting but from doing. Imagine an aspiring writer who dreams of publishing a novel but spends years waiting for the perfect idea. Meanwhile, another writer decides to start small, writing short stories each week. Over time, the second writer improves, gains confidence, and eventually completes a novel. By the time the first writer begins, they're already years behind. Take the first step, no matter how small or uncertain it feels. The path ahead will reveal itself as you walk it. Waiting only delays your growth, while action propels you forward. The power of presence. In our pursuit of goals, we often forget to enjoy the journey. But life isn't about grand milestones. It's about the everyday moments that make up our existence. To live intentionally is to be fully present, appreciating the beauty in the mundane. A mother rushes through her day, focused on her to-do list. She barely notices her child tugging at her sleeve, asking to play. By the time she looks up, years have passed, and that playful child is now a teenager with little interest in spending time with her. Put down your phone. Look into the eyes of the people around you. Savor your meals. Laugh at silly jokes. And watch the sunset. Life is happening now, and these moments, not the big achievements, will be what you cherish most. Choosing joy over fear. Fear often holds us back from living intentionally. We worry about judgment, failure, and uncertainty. But when we let fear dictate our choices, we miss out on the experiences that bring joy and fulfillment. A woman dreams of traveling the world but worries about the costs and logistics. She puts it off year after year, waiting for the right time. One day, she realizes she spent decades dreaming but never living. When she finally takes the leap, she wonders why she waited so long. Don't let fear rob you of your dreams. Say yes to opportunities, even if they scare you. Book that trip, start that project, or pursue that passion. The regrets of inaction far outweigh the risks of failure. The gift of relationships. At the end of our lives, it's not the accolades or possessions we'll remember. It's the people who loved us, challenged us, and walked beside us. Yet, these relationships are often the first to be neglected in our busy lives. A man spends years chasing professional success, rarely making time for his friends. When he finally slows down, he realizes he's lost touch with the people who once meant the world to him. Rebuilding those connections takes time, and some friendships are gone forever. Invest in your relationships. Write that letter, make that call, and show up for the people who matter. The connections you nurture will be your greatest source of strength and joy. The wisdom of the present. A wise elder once said, "Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift." That's why it's called the present. This timeless truth reminds us that life is too short to be spent dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. A man sits at the bedside of his dying mother. She squeezes his hand and says, "The best days of my life were the simple ones, when I held you as a baby, laughed with your father, or sat in the garden with my friends. I wish I hadn't spent so much time worrying about things that didn't matter." The only moment you truly have is now. Make it count. Live with intention. Savor each experience. And focus on what truly matters. The legacy of a life well lived. Living intentionally is not about perfection. It's about alignment. Aligning your actions with your values. Your time with your priorities. And your life with your purpose. When your final days come, what will you wish you had done differently? Don't wait to find out. Start living intentionally today. Spend time with loved ones. Pursue your passions. And treasure the simple joys of life. The world will keep spinning, but your life is yours to live. And when you look back, may you find peace in knowing you lived with intention, courage, and love. Your life, your legacy. At the end of our journey, what remains is not the trophies on the shelf or the digits in our bank account, but the memories we've created and the love we've shared. The question is, when the final chapter of your life is written, what story will it tell? Will it be one of waiting, worrying, and withholding, or one of courage, joy, and authenticity? The power to choose is yours. So, begin today. Make that call. Write that book. Embrace your loved ones. Laugh deeply. Live fully. And love fiercely. For the only moment we truly have is now. Let it be a moment that counts. Your challenge: take 5 minutes today to reflect on what truly matters. Write down one step you can take toward living without regret. And then take that step. Life is waiting for you. Will you answer its call? Your life is happening now. Don't wait. As the sun rises and sets, so too does each day offer you a choice: to live with intention or to let the moments slip away unnoticed. The secret to a life without regrets lies not in extraordinary feats or distant milestones, but in the quiet, deliberate acts of being present, loving deeply, and following the call of your true self. Think about it. What would your life look like if you stopped waiting for the right moment? What if you let go of fear, stopped worrying about what others might think, and began living as though every day truly mattered? This isn't just about achieving your dreams. It's about embracing the journey, nurturing the relationships that fill your heart, and taking the time to appreciate the beauty in the ordinary. Here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers. What you need is courage, the courage to take that first step, no matter how small. Because when you start walking, the path will reveal itself. Every action you take today becomes a brick in the foundation of the life you are building. Imagine looking back on your life one day, smiling, not because you achieved everything you ever wanted, but because you cherished every moment, every connection, every act of courage. That's the true definition of success. So, what's stopping you? Begin now. Call the person you've been meaning to reconnect with. Start the project you've been dreaming of. Dance, laugh, create, and love as though this day is the only one that matters. Because, in truth, it is. If this message resonates with you, there's so much more to discover. On my YouTube channel, The Secret to a Life Without Regrets, Start Living Today, I dive deeper into the lessons, stories, and practical steps that can help you live a life of purpose and joy. Subscribe now to join a community of people committed to making the most of their lives. Together, we'll explore how to break free from fear, embrace the present, and create a future we'll be proud of. The time to start living isn't tomorrow, it's today. Click subscribe and take this journey with me. Let's make each day count. Together,